Thank you very much. Well,
I might have to sit down. Never get up. Your silly shoes.
Bloody hell's on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is. We're all here together again for the first time since we met for rehearsals at the Irish Centre in Chiswick on February the 17th, 1986. Which means we are all 26 years, 6 months and 29 days old since we first met. Yes! Except of course Margaret Hughes from Scotland, who I'm sure you'll agree doesn't a day old. So it's nice to have a chance to catch up with each other and to fill in those 26 years, 6 months and 29 days. And also a chance to say goodbye, as we never said goodbye properly. In fact, we never had a chance to rob the theatre of its fiction and fittings as our checks from Jim Island to bounce in the fighting centre. My association with cabaret goes back to 1985, when I was appearing in the tour of the Rocky Horror Show at the Theatre on Hanley. One Saturday night, me and Mark Vince, Rocky's stage manager, were being driven back to London with our esteemed producers, who I'm sure you remember, John Farrow and Paul Bernard. Now, on the way back home, they discussed putting on a production of Cabaret. They definitely wanted Wayne Sleep to play the MC, and they wanted in the role of Sally Bowles, Marty Kane. That's right, not Marty Webb, but Marty Kane.
I've worked with both.
Yes. So John said, so who should we get? I can't do. Billy, you can do the.
I can't
this is John Farrow. So who should we get to direct it? And who's going to do the old heel toe? Paul Bernard. I know someone who can do it. I have to channel Park and Thunderbirds, and I think of Paul Bernard. I know someone who can do it. In fact, they're so good they can direct it and choreograph it. Oh, good, said John. That'll work out a lot cheaper. That'll work out a lot cheaper. Who is it? Dougie Squires. Dougie. Yes. Dougie's excellent, but I don't think we get him. Well, I think he's doing Panto in Grimsby, and then he's doing a cruise. Oh, bloody hell. We'll have to make do with bloody Gillian Lynn then. Fast forward 6 months, and I was helping out at the auditions with Gillian, Gareth, Ray Cook, and John Thornton.
No, hold on.
And if I could say, in all seriousness, could we toast to our dear friends, our absent friends from Cabaret?
John and Ray.
John.
To our absent friends. So back at the auditions, I remember offering to make Gillian a cup of tea. Oh, darling, lovely one, can you make sure it's Lapsang Souchong? Well, I'd never heard of Lapsang Souchong. This was 1986, remember? I thought, oh, I'd just squeeze my old sock out and some hot water. Milk, Gillian? Yes, darling, but can you make sure it's organic goat's milk? All right, okay. Sugar or sweeteners? I need virgin Canadian Queen Bee honey. We've got a right one here, I thought. I didn't think it would have been this difficult. But of course, in retrospect, Gillian was the most forward-thinking of us all. So, ladies and gentlemen, could you please join me in a toast to the amazing Gillian Lee? You better prepare a few words because you're up next, by the way. So the auditions went on, and Gillian's present director, Denny Sayers, arrived. Denny, I think I can safely say on behalf of everyone, no one ever do your job putting up with us lot.
And also, I have to tell you, being on tour, my phone rang in my hotel bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was Julie saying, darling, I think we're going to cut the money number with the big toast. She said, I need to know who's wearing what and who'll have to do a quick change. So I went, oh, hang on, I'll get my notebook. And I went and got my notebook, and I gave her the list of names. Julie, put the phone down, went back to sleep. The next morning she said to me, do you know, darling, I woke up with my phone on my pillow.
Somehow I actually found myself in the show. Obviously someone must have dropped out, or maybe Gillian was a permanent tea boy. Well, let's face it, you had a permanent toy boy. So like everyone, I was excited and apprehensive as I arrived for the first day of rehearsals. In fact, the first people I met were this very odd couple, wrapped up like they were going on an expedition to the North Pole and complaining about how long it took them to get there. Of course, they turned out to be the funniest couple you could meet, Pamolia Scott and Basil Patrick. So one by one, the other people who we would all share our lives with trooped in. There was the boyish figure Peter Barry, who insisted she was 21, so that must have made her 13 when I saw her in the chorus line. There was the pretty James Dundas, the boner Billy Deemer, and I was particularly entranced by this strange character, David Turner.
David Misses.
I recently having some hysterics in the dressing room telling us about where she would dance to the sound of her own breathing. By the way, if you're not mentioned tonight, it's either because no one remembers you or you made no impression at all. Or your stage management, in which case both apply. That was a joke. Sort of. And then there was the Kit Kat girls, the feline Gal McGregor, the saucy Caroline Clare, who like me was scared stiff of the singing, the comical Kelly Greenwood, who like me was scared stiff of the dancing, and of course the amazing Caroline O'Connor, the beautiful Margaret Houston, and the sex bomb that was and still is Sarah Drummond. In fact, Sarah, didn't we have a competition to see who could bed most of the company?
Yes.
Sarah, I can see defeat. We had the brilliant Lady Doodars, Kate Edgar, Annie Miles, Lesha Milnick and Kathleen Hancocks. And then of course, the wonderful Vivian Martin. Who I remember at the audition moved Gillian to tears with her heartbreaking performance. The ever glamorous Rosina Frame and the quite fabulous Kelly Hunter. Then there was a handsome and charming Rodney Cotton, and just as handsome and just as charming Nepita Peter Land. I take it back.
I auditioned 6 times!
Yes.
But where?
And of course our lovely Oscar critic, who can't be here tonight, but sends his love and best wishes from Ibiza. And of course, who can forget the start of that show? The amazing, the fantastic, the one and only Pam Gale. Can you stand up, love, please?
Very difficult.
Now, Pam, can you move to your right a bit? Yeah, to your right a
That's a
bit.
good idea.
Yeah. No, a bit more Pam. A bit more Pam. No, we can still see you, Pam. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the main reasons the production came to fruition was the stardom of the brilliant, the one and only Wayne Sleep. So rehearsals came to an end, or so we thought, and set off a Hanley joke on train. So find you.
Thank God that she had to go and rehearse Phantom.
Oh yeah. I remember it was suggested that all the women should grow their armpit hairs. Margaret and Rosina, is that right? Armpit hairs? Margaret and Rosina were particularly appalled. So they hatched a plan to say they couldn't grow armpit hair as it had electrolysis. And I think the lovely Wendy Wicks was also something on the act. And so the first press performance at the Birmingham Hippodrome on Monday, April 7th, 1986. Now in the late afternoon, whilst rehearsing Money, it became obvious that us boys were unable to do the Wheel of Death in the 5-inch heels Mark Thompson had designed for us. As it was too late to turn up to restage it, then it was decided that us boys should wear jazz shoes instead. The only trouble was, our costumes were white and the jazz shoes were black. So our ASM to the Abbott and Kath Barry hot-footed into the ballroom to buy out their stock of shoe whitener. Badger, of course, was reluctant to whiten his shoes. 25 years about these bats did, 25 years. But I distinctly remember me and James in the Hippodrome Auditorium just before the half, whitening our shoes and frantically waving them around to dry. As we were doing this, 2 strange men walked by. Hi, what are you doing? We're just, whitening our shoes. You're painting your shoes? Yes. All right. Well, you have a good show. Oh, by the way, my name's John, and this is Fred. And so the tour progressed to Nottingham, Blackpool, Leeds, Eastbourne, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Hull, Bournemouth and Bristol. Not that we saw much of these cities as we were always rehearsing. And then on the 17th of July 1986, we opened at the Strand Theatre, and the company expanded. Along came the funniest, most talented giraffe in the business, the lovely Kim Mismay, along with the brilliant Mitch Sebastian, gorgeous Janie D and Sean Garvey. I always hoped I'd score with Sean Garvey, but he wasn't interested in men. In fact, none of the girls either. I'm glad to see you, Jenny. And then Carrie Hyde joined us as Caroline Clegg, I still have a bun in the oven. And then the Jenny cast changed, brought along the talents of Barry Walsh, Paul Hegarty, Troy Wilcox, Tony Kent, Richard Dobden, Nadine Shenton, and our great Jenny Scott Morgan. And so the show plodded along with its new members and a new producer, Willie Hancock.
Roll them in, roll them in.
We'll get them off the buses.
The house had started to dwindle, and I remember one night Mr. Hancock summoned everyone to the stage at the 5. Well, of course, we thought, that's it, we're getting our notice. But Mr. Hancock wants to use the power of positive thinking to encourage more people to come in to see our show. So the cast and the crew and Moon the dresser and even Dot the dummy joined in and were asked to hold hands to join one big circle. I don't think the band joined in though, because they were probably in the pub and too sensible to join in. Is anyone from the band in here tonight?
It's me.
Oh,
Just Marcus.
that's you. So, then we're on stage, holding hands, when Mr. Hancock told us to close our eyes and imagine people getting off the tube at the garden. Imagine people getting off the 11 bus at the Aldwych. Keep your eyes closed now, keep imagining. And now there are people walking up the steps into the Strand Theatre box office, and now there are hundreds purchasing tickets for our show. Really imagine. Well, we were stunned into silence, even better. Until Pally piped up what we were all thinking. Well, why don't you just put some more posters up on the tube? Well, Act 1 Begins was called. Gareth struck up the band. I think there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to. The curtains rose and a puff of dry ice billowed across the stage, and we all scurried down to the white sheet. Now, as the sheet flew off, we stared into the audience, remembering our motivation. And who are you fucking tonight? And as we swayed from side to side, staring back at us was 1, 2, 3, about 60 or 70 people.
I was on holiday.
You were. I can see you. And suddenly, yes, and suddenly the absurdity of the situation caught up with us, and we could hardly contain ourselves through fits of giggles. Well, I hope you have more giggles tonight, and I hope you're all in fine voice, because Marcus is going to lead us into a cabaret mashup after Julian just said a few words. But before I hand over to Julie, I just want to say to everyone, it's absolutely lovely seeing you all here tonight, and just these final few words to think about, and they are: nipple juice, naughty wanketties, old men's bollocks, and upward pointing breasts.